This is the Bottom Line Sports Show with Gerald Brown and Rick Mahorn.
Imagine you trade a Chet Holmgren for a Giannis Antetokounmpo.
These guys are athletic as you know what, and you go like, oh my gosh, where's the fundamentals? Where's the pass first mentality? That's not in the league anymore.
And now here's your host, Gerald Brown and Rick Mahorn.
What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? Getting ready for Final Four weekend. Gerald Brown here. Waiting on Rick Mahorn. He's getting in the little hair and makeup. So definitely we'll be having him join us momentarily. Dynamic show as always. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, as well as follow me. Support the show in the way that you can, and always appreciate you. Just basically, like I said before, follow the show, everything that we have going on with the Bottom Line Sports Show. As it's going to be interesting. We have now this Final Four, and I'm really curious to see how this is all playing out in regards to the UNC job, And without further ado, right there on the scene, give him a round of applause. I haven't heard from him in a while. He looking scruffled because he's a bit on the road. Give him a round of applause for the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, Mr. Ricky Mahorn.
What's going on, G? What's happening, man? What's going on, man?
Wait a minute.
What's up?
What is all this?
Hey, look, I work for a living, not you.
Oh, you need to stop it. That don't make no sense.
If I
didn't have a haircut the last time we was on, and you were fresh to death. Now you don't have a haircut, but you got
to. Let me just say this to you.
Here we go.
The NBA is rough. We went, Pistons. I've been traveling with the Pistons. We played Minnesota, kicked their ass. Went to Oklahoma City, and they pushed the game. Man, let me just say this to you. NBA is wrong for this one here, because we had a back-to-back.
Get back.
And it was we played on, Monday. The game was at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, PM. And the game was 8:30 in Oklahoma City.
Was that the national televised game?
We had two national televised games, one up in Minnesota. They moved that game up to 5:30. And you go, okay, and I'm going like that because it's a TV game. I mean, don't get me wrong, NBC, Peacock, all the entities that are there, that's cool, but man, come on, man. I don't know. It was like, and then we had to come back, travel from OKC. You know what time I got at home? The plane landed at 4:30. Then you're driving home. I ain't go to bed till 5:45 yesterday. Game yesterday was at 8:00. So come on, man. That's just wrong. Gee, I thought I was playing back in I thought we were playing it back in the 80s, man. It was like catching the first thing smoking to go play a game, and all of a sudden, man, we caught up. But let me say this to you.
Okay, I'm ready because I'm ready to hear this.
Let me say this to you. When we went to Minnesota, we whooped that ass. And the fact was, the boys played, all the boys played except Cade Cunningham and Isaiah Stewart, but then the young boys, Dennis Jenkins and Sarge, the young boys came through. They did what they needed to do. Tobias Harris was banging in some shots and everything. Herder coming off the bench, giving them some of them jumpers and stuff that we desperately needed. But then you go to OKC, we ain't have four of our starters. Cade out. We had another lineup. We had the Wu. We had Green, Javante Green started. Paul Reed started. Man, everybody thought we was gonna lose by 20. man, Pistons should have won that game. The game went to overtime. And the fact of the matter, yeah, they may didn't have, Jalen Williams, one of the Williams, I don't know. They got like 9 Williams on that team and 12 Jalen's. But Shea Gildress, how you gonna go? One man attempts 25 free throws. Don't get me wrong. I like Shea. Shea might have got fouled, but everybody's getting fouled in the NBA. Pistons, they only shot as a team 23. Shea Gildress Alexander shot 25.
By himself?
Tell me where that makes sense at.
Well, it makes sense perhaps with the whole in the college basketball situation with Duke and how this happened. I want to ask you this because as we transition from the college basketball, and I like to always say this is the young boys in the JV as we get ready for the big boys and stuff, getting ready on the NBA playoff stage.
Why not junior high school?
No,
you got junior high school. You got what I'm saying, man. Yeah, what about the JV? You talking JV? You got the freshmen.
No, we
got the freshmen. Then you got JV. Then you got the varsity. Then you got college. Because it just seems like the way that the college is going is like one and done, and you getting the whole. I don't know. Then you got the G League, and it's like, why don't you just stay in school? You could have learned how to play then.
Yo, you know what I realized?
What's that?
You real ugly, man. You're an ugly dude.
Straight up, you want to know something, Gerald? I might be ugly, but I gets it.
Oh, you lying. Why you lying so
I'm a lie. Look, I don't hear people calling me ugly. Well, hey, sometimes if you got money on your back, they be looking at you. You cute. You good looking. Nah, man. Hey, you're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah, you ugly dude, man. But I still love you. But here's the thing I wanted to ask you in regards to the Pistons, where they're at right now. You obviously you work with them on the radio side. You see it every game. Where are they at right now? How do you feel about them right now as the playoffs? Rick, we're closing in on the playoffs. We got maybe a handful of games.
Got 9 games left. I look at the Pistons and I said, you look at this team and playing without your starters, without Cunningham, without Stewart, on the injured list and not on the injured list, but hurt. I look at it going like, damn, this team is deep. It's the next man up mentality. I get, you look at teams and you go, how can they win without, the tip of the spear, Cade Cunningham? Man, and how do you win without Jalen Duren? Or how do you compete? Let me tell you something about this team. They don't care. They don't care who score. They don't care anything. But they hang their hat up on their defense, man. And when you got a defense and you got guys that are willing to, keyword, sacrifice what they need to do to win games. And JB Bickerstaff has everyone from Holland, the guys on the bench that come in there and play, guys that don't even get time, but they come in there and do work. That's what you want. Somebody that just, that plays the game the right way. I mean, Larry Brown would always stress that with the 04 boys, going to work boys. And then, us with the bad boys. Bring your job, man. This is your job. Your job is to play, not sit up there and pout because you ain't touched the ball in 20 minutes. I don't care who you are. And I mean, I'm, if I'm trying to throw some shade out there, it might be against the Knicks. Because if Cat ain't getting his little shots up or whatever, or Paolo Banchero, these guys are very talented, but sometimes you got to sacrifice. And I was talking with Isaiah Thomas, the great Isaiah Thomas,
Lord Thomas.
Isaiah Lord Thomas. That's what if his name Lord Thomas, his mama named him Lord Thomas. And so I look at that, and Zeke and I were talking, man. We were going like. And he brought something up that was really key to me. He said, Horn, other than him saying when he first got in the league, I could score 50, but am I going to win a championship? And you go, no. He says, no. And this was in the Sports Illustrated article. And if people got your internet, whatever you want to do what you do your information. But here's the thing. He told me that we didn't have a 20-point scorer. Nobody on our team scored over 20 points, and we won a championship. Ain't no other teams out there that has that. You could look it up in the history book, and I know Isaiah does his homework. We had guys, he averaged like 18, 19, Joe, in that same. Then you had Mark Aguirre, you had Vinny Johnson, you had me, you had guys that were just coming off the bench like a Rodman. This is what a team is for. It's called sacrifice, because if it's your night, you're gonna get that rock.
Yeah, I want to ask you this, and clip this. I want to make sure y'all clip this. If you had a time where the bad boy Pistons, right? We don't have to worry about you in the expansion draft, and you look at that first three-peat of the Chicago Bulls, and let's throw the Lakers in there as well as the Celtics. Where do you think, obviously, everybody in their prime, no old and all that stuff, everybody on an even playing field, where do the bad boys stack up against those other dynasty teams? Lakers, Celtics, and Chicago Bulls. I'll say the first three-peat.
Well, don't put it. I'll put it to you this way: we all had different characters.
Keep it real now.
I'm always keeping it real, G.
Shout out.
We all had different characteristics on different times, because rules start to change as the game evolves.
Right.
Then you see, okay, everybody, and this is the thing that the naysayers get me and stuff. You go, I'm looking at LeBron. Yeah, it's a great feat, right? Okay. But you got to figure he got in the league when he was a teenager, huh?
Yes.
But then when you look at Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and you go, he got in the league after he did his 4 years of college.
Correct.
And then they don't think about the hardship where, Spencer Haywood, the Hall of Famer, tells, I want to, you can't neglect someone getting their money. And I spoke with Jim Jones. He was the second guy coming out there to crush her. You go, man, these dudes had to fight the court system and with the workman's comp just to get their butts in the league because they felt that they were ready for it. Okay, I'm a timeout. Go ahead.
Cut all that. Give me the real. I need to know. Even playing field rules, everything like that changing. Do you where them Pistons at? The bad boys.
Come on, man. At? You throw the Pistons. Real. I'm keeping it. You throw the Pistons in there, and you also throw.
Where they rank that, Richard? Don't give me all that other stuff.
I can't. I really, on the real, Gerald, I can't do it. Because you know what, I could be sitting up here and being selfish that we would have won. If I would have stayed with the Pistons, we probably would have won 4 more. 5, not 4 more, but 2 more. You could say that.
They won another one.
They won the second one, and then after that, it's like this is a business. And I ain't mad at it because you want to make money off of this stuff. People are vested in this. So they always talk about, the Michael Jordans, and they talk about the Magic Johnsons. How much money can we sell and make and bank on that? I'm looking right now. What's the guy, the quarterback for Chicago Bears?
Yeah, come on, man. We got to talk about that, man.
Man, and I know Iceman. Iceman, my hero. But how you going to all of a sudden call yourself Iceman?
Somebody that's a flag on the play. Nobody never pulled that young man together and said, "Yeah, Caleb Williams." And what Rick is referring to, Caleb Williams, the young quarterback for the Chicago Bears, has put in a request
trying to trademark
the name Iceman, and not realizing that the Iceman name has been in existence for quite some time by the legendary George Iceman Gervin. And Iceman had to go that. So now there's this thing in the, I guess, in the system going back and forth. And Rick,
and if you want to pay homage to him, say, yo, Man, I would love to use your name because
Yeah.
Nike promoted that back when the dude sitting up there with the two basketballs,
There's
man.
only one Iceman.
Yeah,
There's
that's
a
like
Jerry Ice
that.
Reynolds, but that's not Iceman. There's
No,
only one Iceman, and it needs to stop. That is sheer foolery. That
yeah,
right there is Foolie Wang, all that
but
stuff, whatever you want to call
G,
it.
this is what I mean. Hey, you know what? The world we live in now with social media and everything, like we're presenting ourselves and having a platform. Hey, you know what, man? Take care of those who were there before you. You know, it's all you're going to be in this. My mother would always say, "You want to get old too, if you're lucky."
I mean, I was surprised by that, the whole situation in terms of just him putting out there. And I mean, look, I'm not mad at him. He
No,
basically didn't know. I guess he didn't know. And then if he does know now, I would be sort of, I would be retracting everything. No, that's ice, man. That's ice. That's ice, man. And
that's like somebody taking the Joker now, or taking the name "I'm the Joker," or someone that's established something like that. It's like somebody said, "Oh, this, I want MJ. I'm MJ," and you go like, "MJ, Mary Jane or something? What am I looking at?" And you know what I'm saying? MJ is Michael Jordan. Zeke is Zeke. It ain't. Or you look at what's it? You look at Larry Bird. You go somebody go trademark. Okay, I'm Bird now.
yeah, it doesn't make sense at all and stuff. But I want to go back to that before we have our guest Nolan Smith coming up and stuff. But I want to ask you about the whole situation in terms of just again where you have those Pistons ranked in there. Where would you rank them there? Because and I think this is something interesting. We had talked about this before, where if you think about the Pistons, the body of work was very limited in terms of a championship. And that's why I always say sometimes it's unfortunate because championships really shouldn't and don't define how great a team is. Obviously, championships is something that obviously everybody strives for. But way that y'all built that thing up and set the tone in the NBA, that wasn't a one-hit wonder. And I know, granted, we look at the Celtics and we look at the Lakers. Well, they were the two dominant teams at that time. But to have a changing of the guard of the Pistons coming in there, and y'all had to climb that ladder. And I just think that a lot of times we overlook that because it's only, per se, 2 championships. And then after that, you have the run of the Chicago Bulls where they get 6 and stuff. That's why I asked you that. Where would you rank them? And it's okay to be selfish. I mean, could you be honest and say, hey, we up there with them? I mean, look at
me. I mean, you go woulda, coulda, shoulda, and you can go what happened in those situations. If they didn't expand to Minnesota, and at that time Minnesota and Orlando, a year before that it was no, it wasn't even that. It was Charlotte. I don't know which one, Charlotte or Orlando. Charlotte, Orlando. It was the Minnesota. What was the other team?
Vancouver.
Vancouver. So you go, Vancouver came in with Toronto, I think.
Yes. It was Minnesota.
So
Charlotte.
Okay, so you had see, one thing about it is like, okay, the Celtics did X, Y, and Z for so many years. Then you got, okay, it's trending as you go. As you start putting new teams in, you go, okay, is the product still here, or is the product down here? You know what I mean? It's like now you see where they want to do something with tanking. You go like, you want to do something with tanking, but then you look at back in our day, and I go back in our day, look, they was in San Diego. You go, San Diego. We used to say we playing the clip joint. That was what it was. We're going to San Diego, hang out on the beach, like Bill Walton would do. Hanging out, and just say, okay, we're with the clip joint. But rules change a lot. You all of a sudden we had the Jordan rules, but all that was student body left, student body right. Make sure that he passes the ball to another person and go from there and let them score. But now it's like, okay, is it elevated? And then we're going to expand to two other teams, Vegas and Seattle. So how do you expect the product to get better if you expand? The expansion is just like everything else. It becomes not as strong, but it just, it's just like it's a product. It's just like, okay, but if you go down to 10 teams, I bet you'll see a whole different animal.
Yeah, I mean, 10 teams would definitely be a
But
better product, but at what cost?
Here's the thing. I look at it says that when I came in the league, they just expanded to Dallas. And then they expanded the roster from 11 to 12. And then you go back, if you go back a little further, they had the ABA. It was two leagues battling for to see which one had the better league. You had the Carolina Cougars, and that's when the New Jersey Nets were there. So 4 teams came from the ABA, and that was San Antonio, that was New Jersey, that was the New Jersey Nets because they had back then the doctor, Indiana, and what was another team? Indiana. Oh, San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
So now you had
first came in.
Yeah, so you got 4 teams from the ABA to go in the NBA who already had, like, I think, it could have been 15, 14 teams. They try to keep it even. But you look at it, you got the originals with the Lakers. No, not the Lakers, because they were Minneapolis Lakers before they moved to LA.
Mm-hmm.
So people, when you're out there, do your homework, please. I don't know everything, but I try to learn as much as I can because I continue to learn what it's all about.
Well, speaking of that, obviously we're on the cusp of the Final Four, and you look at the whole thing that's transpiring. I want to go back to this whole thing with the Duke and UConn game, and had obviously Monday had Gary DeCesar as well as Jerry Eves come on and talk about that. And, looking back on that, I don't know if you got a chance to see that play and see how it played out. A lot of questions, and hearing some of the talk back and the feedback, it was, obviously Shire had a timeout. The young man should have just held the ball. And I remember I tweeted on Instagram, posted that we all make mistakes, right? We're human. He's a human. He's a freshman. He's going to make mistakes. But those type of mistakes, Rick, stay with you for a lifetime. And just looking at how that played out in that game, and we're still talking about it, like Duke is supposed to be playing Illinois in the Final Four. UConn, yes, he hit the shot. I give him credit. But what were your thoughts on that in hearing about it, and if you had an opportunity to see it?
Oh, I saw it. Gerald, I mean, when you're talking about the Final Four and you're talking about NCAA basketball, you're talking one game. It ain't like the NBA, the playoffs. You're not playing 7-game series, not playing 5-game series. I'd like to see them do something like that, maybe, because then you could see who has the better team. But in college, it's just you're one and done. And the fact is, hey, it's maybe not your day today, and it wasn't Duke's day. And you know what? Human beings, we all gonna make mistakes. Referees make mistakes. Coaches make mistakes. We make mistakes driving. Oh, I shouldn't have took that left when I should have took a right. You know what I mean? So it's like you have these things. You don't get makeups, especially when it comes to life. You can make up some, but you can't make up all. So I look at it and go like, hey, UConn won. They did what they did what they needed to do. They made the last shot.
But if you went into a space of playing a 3-game series and the best 2 out of 3 and stuff, I don't think it makes. I don't like it at all. Granted,
Why?
Well, why? Because you got to be prepared, right? Yeah, everybody has an off game, But this raises the stakes even higher. I mean, think about it this way. Imagine if the NBA, granted they wouldn't do it, but imagine if the NBA replicated what the NCAA, their playoffs were similar to the NCAA tournament. Now, it would be over a quick, fast, in a hurry, but you now focus, you force teams, you force players to lock in that much harder. That's where you lock in. And now you're forcing guys to execute. Now you got to ask coaches to do something that, again, sharpen your skills. I think clearly when you have this setup, and I understand, 4 out of 7. It was one time 3 out of 5 the first round, but 4 out of 7. Yeah, that's great. But you can have an off night. That's what I love about college basketball, is because you got to play your game. You got to bring your A game, plain and simple. It's
every day, every game.
Every game.
But
that's
see,
like the old days, Rick, where you know what? You go outside and you play on the hardwood, you play outside on the court, you're going to play and you're going to make sure you bring your A game, because if you lose, you got to sit.
You don't want to lose. Whatever, you sitting on the sidelines just mad as hell, because you want to get on there. But you know what, G? I understand what you're saying, but I experienced everything you're saying.
Right.
So when you lose in college or high school or even junior high, whatever, you don't get a second chance until the next year. Or you lose to your rival, y'all play your home. Basically, you're playing a rival, you're playing the team in your conference twice, a home and away.
Right.
Do it here. Why not?
What, play 2 games in college?
No, 3 games. But I'm just saying, because we lost when I was in high school. We played our high school team, our rival. In fact, my brother, they beat their rival school. They were in 2 different brackets. They beat Weaver, beat Hartford High for my brother and them to win a championship.
Well, I mean, so what you're saying is, if you do that, well, we all know that obviously with what the whole setup is, obviously they have to end the tournament before the Masters, right? The golf tournament, because that takes precedent, all the money, believe it or not, with the CBS. So yeah, all day, every day, and twice on Sundays. But my thing is, you got to prepare. I love it the way it is. And,
okay, so I'm just trying. Okay, so now you ain't gonna get a second chance. It's either one and done.
That's it. Hey.
Okay, so
that's Cinderella. One shining moment.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I want, it's like, okay, on to the next. Now we got the Final Four. Hey, it's the pass that Lechner shot to Grand Hill. It's like, it gives you excitement. It gives you build up. In the pros, it's a different story, because you're going to get seven game series. You playing the team, you looking at this team 7 straight times. Not only from the regular season, you had those 2 games with the East versus the West. You had those 2 games, you're basically playing 9 games.
Do you think that hurts in the NBA? Because like you said, you can go and take a situation and have
you mean in professional sports?
In professional sports. Well, you know what? Let's bring on a gentleman and stuff.
He done got old. Oh, man, you looking just like your daddy.
Yeah, you look like his daddy, man. Tennessee State head basketball coach, Mr. Nolan Smith, joining us.
Man, how y'all doing?
Hey, we doing all right, man. Appreciate the time.
Hold on, Gerald. I'm doing good, man. You know what, man? Oh, you look like your daddy. I can just grab that head. And don't get me wrong, you looking like Monica too. So I mean, like, oh my gosh, what's going on, man? You make oh my gosh, I got chills, man.
Look.
You know how much I miss your daddy. If we'd have had your daddy when we played Chicago,
I already know.
Oh, you already know. See, Gerald, you ain't know nothing about that.
But you know what? The thing is, seeing his dad, and obviously Louisville Cardinal legend and stuff. And the thing is, Nolan, looking at you, man, has people tell you the older you get, the more you look like your dad?
Man, absolutely.
I was a ball boy for the Knicks, and I remember them coming in there, and I'm looking, and I'm like, Dad, I see him. You know,
the older I get, the more I start to walk like them. My mannerisms, they like, man, you walking just like your daddy with that, with poking your butt out, just like he used to. Like, I'm like, man, I hear it all the time, man, and I love it.
Hey, so wait, Nolan, so you embarking as coaching, but here, man, it's like your father to me when I got to Philadelphia and playing against him. You know, Daryl, we know what his nickname was when we were playing Rock,
Yeah.
because that man, he'd beat you up and start slobbing in them corners of his mouth, and we used to say, "Oh man, he mad now," and he ain't give a damn about Michael Jordan.
He was all muscle. That man was all man.
Nah. It wasn't even the fact that he was muscled and but he didn't give a damn who you were.
That's
and
right.
that's what, that's what I loved about Derek Smith playing with him. I wish them knees was all right when he was it, boy. Don't get me. I'm. You just brought memories where Charlie. He would have told Charles Barkley, "You better hit Michael Jordan. I don't care if he's your friend."
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So Nolan, so let's tell the people out there what you're doing now.
Yep.
What you think he's doing? Is he Tennessee State head basketball coach, fool?
I ain't asked you, Gerald. I asked Nolan. Won't you sit back there and let the real men talk? Some people that's done stuff because you didn't play in college.
Oh, so you know what? Hey, that's all right. But you know what? You know what I'm saying? Look, the hair dye and facial dye. You got to get it together, all right?
No, I don't need all that, Gerald. I'm old.
Shut up.
What do I got to impress? I got
sorry,
kids,
no,
I got
we go through
family.
this.
I know y'all do. I know y'all do. I know y'all nonstop.
Listen, Gerald. Listen, I don't give a damn. I would use the other word, but I don't give a damn. This is me.
You weren't raised like that. No, to talk about this past season. Congratulations, first year in at Tennessee State, and congratulations winning the Ohio Valley Conference Coach of the Year, leading the Tennessee State Tigers to the NCAA Tournament. Talk about that, recap that season, your first sideline for them.
Man, look, it was an absolute blessing, man, just to be in this position, to jump into the head coach seat and getting the job late July, getting in here, just getting these guys to completely buy into the culture of winning, the culture of becoming a champion. And for us, what does that look like? When I tell my guys, you got to be built to win. Well, that's not just on the court, that's off the court. You got to be tough. You got to be tough, mental toughness, physical toughness. How do you train? How do you prepare? And kind of like you talk about my dad, that mindset of like, I don't care who we play. I don't care who's in front of us. We're going out here to kill. And that's the mindset that they had to completely buy into. And they did. I had an amazing group of young men that just from day one, they had to get to know me, right? They had to get to know my staff. I was able to bring in a great staff, Coach Vince Taylor, DeMar Johnson, Delonte Hill, and Brandon Lockridge, and a couple of these guys that have been at the highest level, coached the highest level, coached NBA guys. When these guys came in, they were completely bought in to what we were trying to do. And when our guys got to work, at the end of the day, it was always about winning. And there was a process to it, right? There was a process to winning. Winning doesn't just happen overnight. You're going to take your L's. The journey is a beautiful thing if you embrace it. If you don't totally embrace the journey, when you lose, that's when one L turns to two L's, turns to three L's. These guys, every L that we took, they learned from it. They got better. They were eager to get back into practice. They were eager to watch film. We had guys all year long wondering when we were watching film. Didn't care how long. So that was the beautiful thing. My first year, just having a great group of guys that were bought in on winning and really just trusted us. And I think we have a great staff that is just excited to stay here at Tennessee State and do it again.
Yeah, just brought the whole DC Assault, the whole crew. I know.
That's it. That's it.
So I mean, I ain't gonna say Hampton. I ain't gonna say Hampton, but Nolan, in this new college atmosphere, how tough is it to keep the guys that are performing well with other coaches out there trying to grab and say, okay, I got this for you, I got that
Yeah,
for you. How tough is that now?
it's very tough. It's very tough. But my philosophy is, if they're that good, and I hope that I can develop young men to where they are that good, I don't want to keep them, right? I hope that my culture is strong enough that they want to stay, that they love us as a coaching staff, but we love them enough and understand the climate of this game is, if I have a young man who comes from nothing, right, and they have a chance to give their family $1 million, $2 million because of what they've done on the court for us, I'm gonna make the call for you and help you go get that money, life changing money, you know. And that, I think that's my job. It's not my job to be selfish ever. You know, we're in the business of helping these young men, and now we get to really help them because financially they can take care of themselves and take care of their families.
Yeah,
I like that. Your mama, daddy raised you well, son.
That's right.
You bring inspiration to me, man. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, no, Nolan. So I mean, let's go back. Obviously, we spoke, got a chance to really chop it up all last year in the off season. Well, actually going into the off season, and you were part of obviously the year before that, going in with Memphis Tigers and stuff. Talk about really this opportunity kept coming up, and obviously making the decision to go to Tennessee State.
Yeah, man, it was a very tough situation, very tough decision to make. You know, spending the year with Penny Hardaway. That, you know, anytime you win with somebody, it's hard to leave, right? We were AAC regular season champions, tournament champions, had a really good team. It's hard to leave that because whenever you win, you want to do it again with the same guy that you did it with. But the journey that I was on since leaving Duke, after going to Louisville for 2 years, then going there, you know, Coach K always asked us, first being on his staff for 7 years, first thing he asks is, do you want to become a head coach? You can't join his staff if you don't want to become a head coach. So obviously that was my goal. That's my dream. You know, my dad ultimately was one day going to become a head coach. Following in his footsteps, this is what I've wanted. So when I got that call late July saying, hey, do you want to take on Tennessee State? It was really a no-brainer and a great opportunity to come in here, especially looking at what they had. I knew it was a roster that was built to win. I just had to come in here and obviously just put my touch on it. And, you know, it was exciting, you know, to get in the front seat and lead your own program. That's what we work for. And as black head coaches, we know the challenges that we face. We know we don't get these opportunities often, you know, so it was something that I had to take, and obviously was fortunate enough and blessed to run with it.
Mm-hmm. You know, Nolan, what coaches, you know, that you've met and that you do have, who mentors you where you just, if something that doesn't register what you want to do, which coach do you call a lot and just talk?
Right now, Penny Hardaway. I call him a lot. I call Jeff Capel a lot. I reach out to Johnny Dawkins a lot. I'll call Coach K every now and then more for quick hits. Hey, Coach, what you think about this? But those long conversations are really with those three right there. And Dennis Gates. Dennis Gates is a guy that I'll call and talk to a lot. So I have a lot of really good mentors and friends, and those guys that when I call them, they pick up the phone. You know, being a part of the Black Coaches Association is something that I'm proud to be a part of. You know, and all those guys. You know, they always say, man, you need something, you call. Any situation, you pick up, you call. You know, first time going to March Madness as a coach, I had to pick up and call, you know, and get ideas and pick their brain. You know, you can't think you know it all. Even if I've been there as a player, it doesn't matter. It's a different seat, it's a different situation. And I think for me, I always want to pick up the phone and call those guys and be humble enough to reach out to those guys that have done it bigger and better than me on a bigger stage. So calling those guys is something that I do, and I do often.
Yeah. Rick and I start to show up talking about the whole Duke and UConn situation, and obviously Duke losing that game, and you know, there's been a lot of blowback, and obviously the emotion of that with Duke being so close, and they've had a history of coming up short, obviously in the Final Four or whatever, but it still doesn't take away from the success. You being a Duke alumni and playing at Duke, what has been obviously been a part of that staff and stuff, and knowing Jon Scheyer, what were your overall thoughts of the way they lost and some of the sort of blowback that has occurred with Scheyer and that program ever since?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, man. They've had such a great season, and they were dominant. They won every big game that they were in up until that point. I mean, so I mean, John's done a really good job. They've had amazing seasons the last 2 years, and just in those moments, just have come up short. And I think it's something that I know John and his staff are going to prepare to knock that door down. And I think next time they're in that position, hopefully they get through it. But it hurts. It hurts as a alumni. I love my school. I hate seeing them lose like that. I'm watching the games and following very closely, and you see all the stuff. You see, all the heat that gets put on John and that staff, and they just, I know they're gonna break that door down. I know obviously he's a competitor, ultimate competitor. He hates losing, and just decide to see what they do to build and put together, and I think ultimately though, I think they're gonna ultimately need a veteran guard out there that when they're in those positions, it doesn't look as young. When you look at these teams right now, Michigan, grown men, Arizona, grown men, and Jaden Bradley, grown man, running that show. You need a veteran. You need a veteran. You need a guy that's going to get you over the top. At the end of the day, veteran teams ultimately win championships.
See, that's the part of that's the part because the portal. Yeah, everybody's jumping in the portal, and is it something? And yeah, you want to make your money, but when you got like you use Duke for example, they call it the blue blood schools. They
Yep.
seem to just always it's like they just got this wheel going. The same way I mean even with Memphis because you were down there when Jalen Durham was there. So it's like
Yep.
you see these young men getting there. Next thing you know, they're leaving. That
Yep.
that's the part. How tough is it to keep guys around?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Oh, it's very tough. It's very tough, especially if you're recruiting the one and dones. They're coming in with the mindset of being in and out. Like win, lose, however far they go, they're out because that was the plan, right?
hmm
They're never going to divert from the plan and say, "Oh, I'm going back because I came up short." No, if they're one and done, they're out. And I think that's the tough part. Again, you get these guys that are transfers. Their plan is right now to make the most money. So if they have an opportunity to go get more money after having a really good year, that's their mindset, right? So you have all these young men that have a plan and what they're trying to get accomplished, and that's where I think coaches have a tough job of keeping kids. But the only thing that's going to keep these kids is culture, right? Your culture has to
hmm
keep these kids. How you treat these young men and these players is how you keep these kids. It might not come down to money, if you're 100% treating them right. And I think that's what it comes down to. That's what me and my staff are going to lay our hat on in our culture, build a strong culture, treat these kids right, develop them, have a plan for every single kid, 1 through 16, and try to keep those young men on your roster. Again, it's very different from me, like I spoke on being at TSU. But when you're at a Power 6, Power 5 school, I think this year, Coach Sampson is finally losing a kid. This is the first time he's lost a kid
Yeah,
in a long time. In a
yeah,
long time because his culture is right.
yeah,
His culture is right. It's the first time. I
yeah.
was shocked. I was shocked.
I was too to see that young
Me
man put
too.
his name in the portal, and I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't happen. Speaking about this Final Four and stuff like that, what are your thoughts overall on obviously Arizona and Michigan, Illinois and UConn? What are your thoughts about these teams and their matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm gonna state the obvious. I think everybody feels and can say confidently the winner is going to come out of the Michigan Arizona side. Both of those teams have been dominant all year long. They're both really good. They're both grown men. They're both confident. They both fight. They both rebound. Both teams, when they flip the switch and say, "Are we about to be more physical than you?" They flip that switch and it becomes a totally different game. Illinois, obviously, European, EuroLeague type team. They shoot a lot of threes. They got a really good freshman that's a straight up bucket getter, which I think he's the guy that's different for them that makes them go. Um, but they're very unique. And UConn is UConn. UConn is a championship. They follow Hurley's energy. I was telling somebody today when they're down 19, Hurley's championship mindset, they ain't worried about being down 19. They telling them dudes, man, they soft down that end. We winning this game. That's that Hurley mindset, and that's what comes out. They're never out of the game. So I mean, I think it's a big time Final Four, and I think that's the beautiful thing about the climate that we're in: revenue share payment, collective, pay to play, whatever you want to call it. That's what it is. I think it's made college basketball really, really good. It's made the top half of college basketball from Power 6, Power 5 schools it's made all of them really good. It's made it grown man basketball. And I think that's the exciting. It's going to be a big time Final Four. You don't have all the one seeds in it. And again, Michigan, Arizona are probably the two better teams, but it's going to be a big time Final Four that I'm excited to watch.
Yeah. Rick and I were talking about some, and Rick, I just wanted to jump in. Rick and I were talking about a situation where, obviously Rick, with his NBA background, you played in the NBA and had an opportunity to be there. And obviously, when we look at the playoffs, because right after this, we got the NBA playoffs. Do you ever think that the NCAA, based upon how much it's obviously so competitive with the super conferences and how they have this all set up, do you ever think the NCAA should look at perhaps maybe do something similar to the NBA and maybe have a 2 out of 3 series that is a part of March Madness? Or do you think that it should stay the way it is? Because it obviously forces you to be sharp as possible, because anything can happen in game day.
I think for right now, I love the NCAA tournament the way it is. But I'll say this: I think in real short time, something's going to change in college basketball, no matter what it is. And I think the mid majors are in a really tough spot right now. The Power 6, Power 5 conferences, ACC, Big 10, SEC, Big 12. I missed one. Big 10. They got hit them all, right? Those conferences are eventually going to do something different, because it's just
they're going to break away.
They're going to break away, and I think once you get to that point, and you go east-west of college basketball or whatever it's going to be called, now it's going to be all right. Well, let's see these teams do a best of 3, a best of 5,
wow,
and it might be 16 teams that make it, just like the NBA. Who knows? But I think we see there's definitely a shift coming in the whole landscape of how college sports, minor league college, European style, right? Whatever it's going to look like, I think that's what it's going to. The only difference is these young men are still going to have to go to college.
It's all about revenue sharing right now.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, Nolan, I know you out there in that beautiful sunshine. I'm up here freezing in Detroit, weather change. And Gerald sitting in that sauna.
Hey, it's 70-something degrees. You know what I'm saying? New York City, New Jersey, it's 77. We're not complaining, man. And neither should you, this stuff. I want to ask you before we let you get on out of here. Penny has been under a lot of criticism in Memphis, and so many people were down about this season and stuff. What has been your overall thought on that? And how surprised were you that there was such a backlash, especially this team that he fielded this year? Make no mistake about it. They weren't that good. They didn't have a good season. But how surprised were you, and are you, at so much of the backlash that he has been encountering?
I'm not surprised by it, because that's what black head coaches are up against, right? That's what they're up against. And when you do not have a good year, they always want to put you on the hot seat quick. Right, quickly.
That's Hubert Davis.
You know what I'm saying? And y'all know me. I'm a straight shooter. That's what it is. That's what it is. And it's unfortunate. That man, from the minute he stepped foot on Memphis' campus, consistently winning 20-plus games, consistently plays the toughest schedule in the country, consistently does not duck any smoke, and consistently beats SEC teams every single year, including last year when we beat Ole Miss. When we go to Clemson and win, when we go to Virginia and win, when we beat UConn, we beat Michigan State. This is a dude who's consistently beat some of the coaches that everybody puts on a high pedestal. So we can't say he can't coach. We know he can coach, right? So I laugh at it, and the conversations I have with Coach, we know what time it is now. They've made changes to the staff, but at the end of the day, Coach Hardaway is going to win. His style of play, the way they play, guys love playing for him. He gives freedom. He teaches these guys how to be prepared for the NBA and the next level. And he's a great man. He's a great man. The way he does things, if you're going in there, you want to win, you want to play a tough schedule, he's going to make sure you're prepared. He's going to make sure you win. He's going to put that battery in your back. So, but that's what it is, man. I think, again, I'll say it's unfair. It's unfair, but it is what it is. He's built for it. We all know what it is. And when you are built for it, it just makes you hungrier. It makes you prepare harder. It makes you go get a better group of guys that are bought into winning, and then you go get the job done.
Definitely. I spoke to him yesterday and stuff like that, man. And I told him, hey, he's really, especially seeing how humble he was and stuff like that. Just through that whole process, man. It seems like he's in good spirits and stuff like that. But you're right. It's really surprising how it's all played out. Obviously, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, listen. I'm sitting here just admiring my man. I'm just proud of you because you feel like you're part of my family. You're always going to be part of that. So you keep doing your thing, but if you run up on this school right there, you know what I'm saying? You see that right there? You run up on that HBCU, I'm gonna give you the business. I'm gonna give you the business because that's what we do.
I think we'll possibly working on a game, possibly in DC. So make sure you there front row.
Well, I'm still doing this thing up here with Detroit. I'm trying to win. I need more rings. You know what I mean? Even from a broadcaster standpoint, I need more rings because Gerald ain't got none.
Hey, listen. The last ring I had,
the only ring you got is right up here on the top of your head, boy, because you ain't got nothing right there. That landing pad is there.
No. That's real here. Listen, Nolan. Hey, man, really appreciate you, man, my brother, taking out the time of your schedule. And
of course.
So happy for you, your family, and all success. And you know what, man? Definitely gonna be supporting you. I want to get down to a game. Definitely gonna hang out and stuff like that, man. And you know what, man? All that you continue success in all that you do, man, and all the best. And Vince Taylor's one of my guys, man. When he was down there with Coach P with Francisco, man, I'm so happy that he's a part of your staff and really embracing family, man. So definitely, man,
absolutely
for you. Keep doing your thing, brother.
I'm coming.
Man, I appreciate y'all.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna tell you right now. If you anywhere within the 50-mile radius of Detroit, I'm coming to your game, son.
I'm going to
yes, sir.
It's in DC. I'm coming there, man, because I know I'm bringing my man.
You can't go to DC. You can't go to
man.
DC with that chopped cheese haircut. Get out of here with that. They ain't gonna let you on the train, man. Get out of here.
Nolan, hey man, appreciate it.
Y'all crazy, man.
Hey Nolan, I still keep it real, though. You know that, boy.
I already know, man. I appreciate y'all having me on, man. Love y'all, brothers.
Love you too, man.
Nolan
Tell
Smith,
Monica say hi, man.
I will.
Right.
Nolan Smith joining us here. Thanks again, Nolan, for joining us. And man, young brother, excited, man, to see what he's going to do. I love the fact is that Rick, he touched on the fact that, let's be honest, man, if you're a black coach in college basketball, hell, in professional sports, you got to win on a consistent level. And it's great, when you win that first year and stuff, but it's always, people don't understand, it's no matter what. Like if you have injuries, players don't perform, it's almost like people forget what you have done. And he touched on that. And you're right. Guys got to pull for one another and really support one another. And I think he's really set himself up to have a strong supporting staff around him to continue to be able to have success. And obviously, the next step is making that step to that Power 5 conference and get
or you can move up to the NBA. Here's the thing, Gerald. We have to start treating people as people and not as color. And this, in this society, in the way that everybody wants to antagonize. Oh, this is a black thing. This is a white thing. This is a Mexican thing. This is an Italian thing. And then. It's more like we're all human beings. We're all going to make mistakes. We breathe air the same way everybody else breathe air. If you need blood, they ain't looking at they're looking at what's coming out the vein. They don't care what the color of your skin, the kidney, things of that. We have to, as a society, be accepting of everything. So, I mean, if it's any wisdom out there that I can push on to the people that are watching us, is that treat me as if I'm one of your own, because we are human beings. We ain't out living in the tree or running around the streets. Everybody's going to go through hard times. Every time, you ain't going to win every year, and expectations are high for, as far as being African American in this world or Native American. It doesn't matter. We make mistakes. Can we be entitled to make them? And if the Hubert Davis situation, you got a lot. A black coach can't last long. And I mean, if we're keeping it real, that's what you got to be. I don't know. I'm just saying, just treat everybody as if you're equal to everybody.
Yeah, Michigan and Arizona are scheduled, and like Nolan talked about with the Final Four. I want to get your thoughts and get your picks and stuff. For Michigan and Arizona are set to do battle. And the first game you'll have Illinois versus UConn and stuff. Who do you like in that first game, Illinois and UConn?
Illinois and UConn. I got to go with UConn. Got to go with my home state for a minute. I got to go with them because hey, I'm rooting on that part of it because I'm not as vested as you are because I still do NBA.
Yeah, I like Illinois, and I think the biggest thing is they got a young man, Keaton Wagler. Keaton Wagler, a freshman, about 6'6" point guard. He's on the draft boards. I think he's been outstanding. And look, they got size. They have that influx of European players. And I think that clearly, make no mistake, the success of the Illinois Fighting Illini, their success this season with that influx of European players. And I know Arizona has done it to a certain extent with Tommy Lloyd bringing a lot of those guys over where he was associate head coach over at Gonzaga. I think really Illinois and Brad Underwood has really opened up sort of a door where you're going to probably see a lot more colleges looking to infuse a lot of European players. I like Illinois in this game over UConn, and I don't think it'll be even close, but I have Illinois in that final game. Michigan and Arizona, Michigan, they pretty much prepare and they lay out a starting five, a front court that's comparable to an NBA size front court. And then obviously led by player of the year, Yaxel Landenberg, young man that transferred from UAB, has come there and has played well and stuff. But they're going against this Arizona team that I love this kid, Koa Pete, another young man that's going to be on the NBA radar, possibly in this upcoming NBA draft, along with Jaden Bradley, another young man, Braden Berry's guard, who's going to be on that NBA draft board. Who do you like in that game there?
Come on, Gerald. Where do I live now?
You from?
I gotta
hold on. See how you be going on? You here and there. I mean, I'm from UConn. I'm from Connecticut, and then I'm in Michigan.
Like I said, Gerald, I'm not as vested as you are. I know more about Michigan and UConn than I do about Illinois and Arizona. I mean, I spoke with Mike Bibby earlier today, and Mike Bibby, we interviewed him earlier on a show I had to do. Mike Bibby, he's Arizona. I was like, I'm going for Michigan. I'm staying up here. I gotta be around these Wolverine fans. My daughter went to Michigan. Come on, man. It's Michigan and UConn. What else I'm gonna say?
Yeah, I get that. I'm gonna say
you're more vested, Gerald.
Yeah, I know, because I don't have a dog in the fight. But I'm gonna say Illinois in the upset over. I don't want. I mean,
it's not an upset.
It's not an upset, really.
It's not an upset because it was an upset with UConn and Duke.
Yeah, it's upset. Yeah,
Illinois, knowing that will it be a Big Ten finals? We don't know, but right now I just look at it going, I gotta go with Michigan because I'm here and I gotta hear it, and everybody in my house is gonna be rooting for it.
Yeah, it is set up for a almost like a Big Ten kind of setup where Arizona being the Big 12. So I'm gonna say Illinois. I'm gonna say Illinois will cut down the nets. But I want to ask you this before we get on out of here. Yeah, because you know what? I'm going to say Illinois. I'm looking at that. And I want to ask you plain and simple, as we sort of revert back to the NBA, the team that is the scariest in the East outside of the Detroit Pistons, obviously still waiting for Cade Cunningham getting back and recovering. And hopefully he will be able to be healthy enough to participate in the playoffs upcoming. But you know, you look at this
Don't
team.
Forget Isaiah Stewart
as well. So hopefully the Pistons will be 100% healthy or close to it. But give me a team, Rick, because you've seen all these teams as we close in. Who's that team that's kind of the scariest outside of the Pistons in that East that you keeping your eye on? Your third hour.
You know, I always look at the Boston Celtics because here's the thing, Gerald. Boston Celtics was winning without Tatum, and you look at this team and you go like, they could be very scary. That's a team that the Pistons has competed against, and they always go down to the wire. And then do I fear the Knicks? Experience helps out a lot, especially when the playoffs come about. And you got to worry about, you worry about the Knicks. You also worry about the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I used to think that, these up and coming teams that are winning these games, but when you look at it, it's a 7-game series. It goes from the play-in to a 7-game series. Yeah. So it's not that am I scared of any team? Or
keeping your eye on.
I keep my eye on, because in the East, you don't know if Orlando, if they ever get back, do what they can get together and have Franz Wagner there as well. That can help them out tremendously. And you look at the Charlotte Hornets, who are starting to do some things. I just keep an eye out I really just keep an eye out on the Boston Celtics right now, and also the Cleveland Cavaliers getting healthy.
Yeah, I think really, if there is a team that really would pose that kind of, maybe keep an eye on and watch them, it's like you said, the Boston Celtics. And it's not a knock against the Knicks or the Cavaliers. I just think that the way the Celtics are constructed, they've been there, they've done that. And you're right. Experience does factor a lot, and it means a lot when you are knowing that, okay, we're not going to panic because we've been here, we understand this. And like Cornbread has said when he was on the show with us, you need about that 10 to 20 game, maybe about 20 games for Jason Tatum to get sort of into a groove and what type of role he's going to play with this team. I think really that team right there, along with the Detroit Pistons, are the two teams that I think are really set up. I don't know. There's been a report. I got to fact check it with the whole situation with the Knicks and possibly losing Miles McBride and not being available. So the Knicks and Karl Anthony Towns, I don't know. But I think Cleveland, I'm not really worried about them because I think still in all, the Pistons and really the Celtics kind of mirror each other with that whole setup. Rick, that about wraps up the show, man. Outstanding show as always. And, as we close out, what's your bottom line?
You to stop getting on my nerves, but I sent you some heat today, so you better enjoy it.
You did send some heat. It's welcome back. And where's Benny? Where's little Benny?
Little Benny waiting to see the draft. Are they tanking? I don't know.
Little Benny, I think, was at the McDonald's All-American game.
I'm done with you, Gerald. I'm out, man. Hey, all I know is we got to tell them fans, I said, peace, because I'm out.
Rick Mahard, I'm Gerald Brown. We out.